Sexto grado. Hola. Soy señor Snoddy. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Hoy es el 29 de abril 2020. Vamos a aprender cosas. What have we been up to? I'll tell you what we've been up to. We've been up to verb conjugations. This is the real stuff, guys. This is the real grammatical Spanish, what we've been doing. Okay, so we've been doing things like this. Okay, focusing on AR verbs like hablar and looking at their endings. So we know the subject pronouns and we know the endings, okay? And if you're still not clear on what the subject pronouns are, or if you're still confused about the endings, you must let me know. You must let your Spanish teacher know so that we can tutorial that stuff and make sure that it is clear. So in the future, we're going to look at some ER verbs, and we're going to look at some IR verbs, presente, verbos regulares, that have different endings than AR verbs. But you guys have got a good handle on how to use AR verbs in the present tense, and so I'm proud of you. Today, hoy es un día de vocabulario, which means we are going to be introducing some new vocabulary, which is kind of fun and exciting. It's a change. We've been doing lots of grammar work with AR verbs, and now we get to look at some vocabulary. What kind of vocabulary? Vamos a aprender. We are going to learn. Aprender is a verb that means to learn. Sobre. So we are going to learn about how to talk about school days and activities. So school stuff, basically. La escuela. Okay, first word, repeat after me. El almuerzo. El almuerzo. Or if you're from Spain, el almuerzo. Lunch, el almuerzo. La clase. La clase. Okay, so this is una sala de clases, a classroom. And there's all sorts of things labeled in here, like los libros, la ventana, la pared, la puerta, the door, el reloj, la pizarra, estudiante, estudiante, mapa, el profesor, okay, la luz, all these things. But this isn't our vocabulary, but this is for you guys who want to get ahead and may want to learn some extra words. You're welcome to learn as much as you'd like. La clase. Okay. So obviously there's the class, like the physical classroom itself. And then there's these different kinds of classes that you take. For example, la clase de arte is going to be art class, right? La clase de arte. La clase de ciencias naturales is going to be science, all right? La clase de educación física, that's going to be physical education. La clase de español, obviously, obvio, is Spanish class. All right, so are you guys taking notes? A lot of these are easy, though. La clase de inglés is English. La clase de matemáticas is math. And la clase de tecnología would be like computer class or something like that. All right, so these are all different classes you can have in your horario, in your schedule. El horario. Okay, so horario, repeat after me. El horario. El horario. Practice your pronunciation. There's a Vocaroo assignment today. And so this is just your schedule. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. And then you've got these different classes on those different days. So schedule is el horario. La tarea. ¿Qué es la tarea? La tarea is homework. Right? How about over here? Haz la tarea. This is how we say in Spanish, do the homework. Haz la tarea. Okay, and we got some new verbs. For example, número uno, enseñar. That's what I'm doing right now. I am teaching. So the verb to teach, remember, it's in its infinitive form, so we put a to in front of it. To teach is enseñar. To study is estudiar. And necesitar over here is to need. All right, so I need is necesito. Tú necesitas, usted necesita, él necesita, ella necesita, nosotros necesitamos, vosotros necesitáis, ustedes necesitan, ellos necesitan, ellas necesitan, to need. This is a very good verb to learn, guys, necesitar. And then you have things you need for school, such as la calculadora, which obviamente is a calculator. La carpeta de argollas. Esto es como decir 3-ring binder. Okay, carpeta de argollas. Y claro, el diccionario is the dictionary. Okay, and también vamos a aprender unos adjetivos, some more adjectives, and we talked about adjectives pretty extensively before. We've had several lessons on it. So you know how they work. Depending on what they're describing, they can be either masculine with an O ending or feminine with an A ending. For example, aburrido is a word that means boring. So if you wanted to describe something as boring or not boring, as is the case with Spanish, of course, la clase de español no es aburrida. Okay, so just that part of the sentence. Spanish class, la clase de español, is not, no es aburrida. It is not boring. Sino is like a word that means on the contrary. It's like saying actually, es divertida. Actually, it is fun. So la clase de español no es aburrida, sino es divertida. Would you agree? You guys aren't bored in Spanish, are you? Okay. Difícil. Difícil es una palabra that means difficult. Okay, so you could say la clase de español es difícil, or la clase de matemáticas es difícil. Divertido is fun. Fácil is easy, so it's the opposite of difícil. Favorito or favorita. Mi clase favorita es la clase de español. My favorite class is Spanish class. Or mi clase favorita es la clase de ciencias naturales. Interesante. So we have an adjective here like fácil that does not change, masculine or feminine, it stays the same. So la clase de español es muy interesante. Práctico. So práctico. Interesante, by the way, means interesting, if you didn't already know that. And práctico means practical. All right, so let's think of something that would be practical. How about la clase de tecnología? La clase de tecnología es muy práctica. Práctica, porque es la clase. And why is it practical? Because it's going to be very useful, very practical to have good technology skills. All right, so some other useful words in this chapter. A ver. So a ver is just a way to say, let's see. A ver, ¿qué vamos a hacer hoy? Let's see, what are we going to do today? A ver. Mucho, of course you already know, means a lot. Para means for. ¿Quién? Who. So if you wanted to say for who, you would say para quién. Yo tengo. Yo tengo means I have. Tú tienes, you have. All right. So that was an introduction to the new vocabulary that we're going to try and utilize along with our grammar. We're also going to continue conjugating verbs. Next week, I'm going to move on to ER verbs. So those are infinitives that end in ER rather than AR. And we're going to start practicing with those while we put this new vocabulary into action. Okay, so don't forget to join my Quizlet class. I've sent that link to you in an email. I've posted it on Google Classroom. All you have to do is click on it, and then I get to provide you with all these flashcards that I've already made for you on Quizlet, so you don't have to go through the trouble of making them. Mr. Snotty makes them for you. All right, so look for this link in the email that I sent you, or in the or on Google Classroom. Click on it, and it's very, very important that you join Quizlet class so that we can review verbs together. And then when we have live Spanish sessions, we can play games with Quizlet as well as Kahoot and stuff like that. All right, don't forget to join Quizlet, and don't forget to come to tutorial. All right, especially those of you who aren't feeling challenged enough. Oh, come to tutorial. I'll give you some challenges. Don't you worry. All right. Muchas gracias, sexto grado. Thank you for participating today. Remember to come to tutorial, and I will talk to you guys soon. This is Mr. Snotty signing off. Hasta luego.